Hello everyone and welcome to the State of the Fannel address. Today marks the 3-year anniversary of the creation of the Bittersweet Candy Bowl Fannel. And today I thought it would be fun to sit down, talk about where we've been and where we're going, and some other things thrown in there as well. So the first thing I want to do is thank all of you for your support. I do that so many times, but I don't do it enough, right? As of right now, we're sitting at 591 subscribers. That is just insane to me to think that this is the little channel that could about this kind of not really obscure webcomic, but it's kind of a niche webcomic that I don't really see a lot of people talking about, and we have managed to make it this far. And I say we because, like I said before, this isn't just me. This channel is built for all of us. It is for the fans, kind of by the fans, and I'm trying to reach out and keep doing community projects to keep that ball rolling. But yes, once again, thank you guys so much for being involved with this process and sticking with me through all the ups and downs, despite everything working against me, which really isn't all that much considering how much the community has grown. And by the way, we do have a Discord. We actually added a whole new section for other webcomics, so we don't just talk about BCB all the time, which of course we primarily talk about BCB all the time. So the next thing I wanted to talk about with you guys is the Bittersweet Candy Bowl Silver Shore comic dub update. Obviously, we missed the July release. I mean, technically it's still July when I'm recording this, but we're gonna miss it. And we're inevitably going to miss the August release, which is totally fine. I have talked to our music guy and he's getting a little bit of his mojo back slowly, but he has been working on some stuff. So that is still continuing forward. What the release date is going to be now is kind of up in the air. For one, I'm not sure when the music's going to be done, and I'm not really sure when to mark a release date for it. Like, should I say November and December and try to aim for that, since that's kind of like a holiday season, and we can kind of try to play out the whole, this winter, go on summer vacation, that kind of thing. But also, because I now have another idea to sort of add on to the dub, which I keep adding on to the dub. This is going to move into my next point, but I want to use this 2D to 3D conversion software called Owl 3D that does a pretty decent job at converting BCB images into 3D, even Teshi's older rough style. In fact, as of right now, I've completed a 3D conversion of Confrontation, which will be released at some point. I'm not really sure when I want to release it. Now, this dub is not going to go on the BCB Fannel channel. It's going to go on my other YouTube channel, Real Future Pictures, since that one is dedicated to 3D. And I feel like this would just be a nice thing to put out there and kind of show people the comic and also kind of show off what Owl 3D can do. It's gotten a lot better since it was a few weeks or months ago. All of this is to say that I want to try and convert Silver Shore into 3D, but I'm not sure if I should wait until the next update for Owl 3D or I should just run with the one that I have now. Certainly waiting for the next one could make it take longer, and these 3D conversions take a while because I have to go frame by frame, and then every panel that I have movement on, I have to make the movement. Like, I figured out the logistical issues behind it. It is just a matter of doing it. Confrontation, it didn't take a horribly long time, but I really had to throw myself at it. Like, I know I've said this a lot to my friends and people on Discord, but I literally spent over 12 hours working on it straight the other day to try to get it done. And that isn't even to mention all of the time that it took the next day to finalize it and all the time that I spent working on it before, including all the test images to see if that maybe this would be possible. But now that I actually have something down solid, it would make Silver Shore's 3D conversion a little bit faster, but it doesn't change the fact that I just have to sit down and do it frame by frame. And brother, Silver Shore is 5 times as big as Confrontation, and that is going to take quite a while. So the sooner I start on that, the better, honestly. And that would definitely cause the production of videos, despite having a big backlog of videos, take a little bit longer. The next thing I want to talk about in the realm of comic dubs is that I do have the future dubs planned. I have the next several ones planned out, scripted out. I have ideas for all of them. I've slowly sent out the scripts for all of them, going like, hey guys, just so that I don't have to keep coming back, go ahead and just record all your lines right now for the next several projects so we don't have to worry about it later, and I can just edit it all as we get to them. Those dubs will probably also be converted into 3D, and I have ambitious plans for the very next one, which is called Tales from the Candyverse, which is going to be adapting 3 of the BCIs, and it's also going to have like live action narrator segments, and it's a whole thing. It's in my head. The best way I can explain it is kind of what the title is parodying, which is Tales from the Crypt, but it's BCIs instead of scary, horrible stories, which, to be fair, the BCIs that we're adapting, which I won't say right here on camera, but the ones that we're adapting are a little bit on the kind of the weirder, crazier side, the more dramatic side of things, so look forward to that. Another project that I wanted to talk about that I really haven't said anything much on the Fannel is the dating sim. I have a whole bunch of design documents and stories and paths written up for it. Honestly, it might feel a little bit more like a visual novel than a dating sim. It has also been a huge time sink, but I haven't worked on it in a while, because once I got finished with that, that's when I was like, okay, I'm gonna go full speed into finishing Silver Shore and trying to get that done. And so that's kind of been left on the back burner. It's not even on the back burner. It's like on the side. Like, I'm gonna get to those ingredients at some point. But I do have a plan-ish. I don't really know much about game design, let alone dating sims. I have played a few dating sims in my day. I am so focused on these dubs because it feels a little bit more in line with what I want to do in life, which is kind of make movies, and then I can kind of use these dubs and make a cinematic experience out of them, which you can't really do with a game. The next thing I want to talk about and address is the Patreon question. Now, I didn't get enough of an overwhelming yes to justify continuing forward and doing that. I had this idea where I would have like 3 separate tiers, and then you would get behind the scenes and like tidbits of stuff that I've written for fan fictions. But honestly, this is just stuff that I put on the Fannel Discord for free, which, by the way, go check out the BCB Fannel Discord. The links are always in the description of all of these videos and the live streams as well. But it would just be like locking free content behind a paywall, which I can understand is kind of weird. I'm also kind of making a Patreon off of a webcomic that already has a Patreon, which is bleeding subscribers, by the way. I won't really go into the Patreon thing anymore. That was just kind of a random idea I had, and not enough people said yes to it for me to be like, okay, I'm gonna go forward with it. And the final thing, I guess the second to final thing, because the final thing is gonna be me more appreciating you guys. The final thing is I wanted to talk about the prospect of me ever getting unbanned from the official Discord. I mean, I've talked about this a lot, but honestly, that's just never gonna happen. Not in a million years. If every single person in that official Discord walked out and unsubscribed from Patreon, they would still not do it. It would just never gonna happen. I know I only get to see things through screenshots that are posted to the BCB threads or to other Discords that I'm in. I mean, we still have discourse, we still have a little bit of drama. I try to keep the drama to a down low. I know that a lot of people have said that they prefer the Fannel over the official Discord, and I know that there are probably people that have preferred the official Discord over the Fannel, but I mean, there's a lot of people in there, and a lot of people really staying active and enjoying the discussions. It's not gonna happen. I'm never gonna get back in there. Maybe that's just it. You know, it would be nice to be able to interact with that side of the community, because I have interacted with the people that are banned and the outcast and people that are kind of in the middle, but I have never really been able to interact with people that are completely on that side. And one of the biggest issues with this community, and I know that this is a pipe dream and everyone hold hands and sing Kumbaya, I wish that we could all just get along and appreciate the comic, even if all in our own different ways, instead of like sitting in our fort saying that those guys are evil and you should not like anything that they do. I think that there is a very heavy misconception between the different parties about what the other party is, and even I have those misconceptions, which is one of the reasons why I would like things to be a little bit more open between everybody. I wish we didn't have to sit in our own spots and not be able to coexist. Now, I know that this is not going to work for everyone. There are going to be some people that just want to pick a fight and cause problems, but I think the majority of people just want to sit down and talk about the funny cat comic and not have to deal with all that drama. I think that banning certain art pieces because they came from certain places, regardless of the quality or content of the art, is a little bit crazy. A lot of people really enjoyed that Finnervention comic, and that art was done by somebody who was on the BCB threads. There's a lot of really great art out there that I wish that more people would be able to be exposed to, but they can't because, well, I don't like those people, so now you're not allowed to like those people. But that could just be more misconception. This is just a very long-winded way of me saying that I'm happy where I'm at now, that I'm not really pushing to get unbanned. Getting unbanned would certainly be nice, but that's just never going to happen the way that the entire community is structured. Unless there's a dramatic change in everyone's feelings, people are unlikely to come together and be at peace with each other. And so the final thing I wanted to touch on is kind of like a side tangent that's sort of related to the not getting unbanned and misconception thing, which is you probably have noticed that I haven't used fan art in my videos for quite some time. I think it's been like a year and a half, 2 years. I don't know. Everything's kind of blending together. But the reason that I stopped using fan art is because people would get really weird about it. Now, obviously, I would like to ask people if I can use their art, but I have been banned and blocked and barricaded from any way of really communicating with a lot of the people that upload to the Candy Boru. Obviously, there are people that have art on the Candy Boru that are in my Discord, but it's just overall better to not use it, because when people see it in my videos and they get excited because they're like, oh my gosh, this guy noticed my art and he put it in the video, and then they go in the official Discord and they're all excited. They're like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. And then one person, and it's no one specifically, it's just one person got to be like, oh, that guy's banned. That guy's a bad guy. And without any sort of looking into it further or asking any more questions about it, or when they do get asked questions, they are kind of like, oh, well, we're not allowed to talk about it, da 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 da. They get upset, and they are obviously not happy about me using their art. So that is the reason why I do not use people's fan art in the videos, even if I would really like to, because there are a lot of amazing artists in the community that I'm just kind of like, I'm sorry, I don't want things to be awkward for you. And so I don't use their art anymore. With all of this being said, this long, rambly video, I want to thank you guys once again from the top to the bottom. Thank you all, the continued support. I am thrilled that we are continuing to grow. Like, I'm always thinking, what's going to be the plateau for the Fannel? When are we going to hit the soft limit where people just aren't interested in BCB, or not enough new people are interested to keep subscribing to the Fannel? But we're still going little by little, and hopefully I can continue to entertain the people I already have, still constantly working on comic dubs and new videos and fun ideas and fanfic readings. And anyway, with all this being said, thank you guys so much, and I will see you all next time.
Every day, superhero.